Oh gosh. Wait. Hmm. Oh. Hmm. Does my mic actually connect to this part? Okay, so obviously I'm joking. Thank you for watching. Something smells fishy. So apparently, my mic connects to this twice? Okay. I may have deafened someone. Something smells fishy. Okay. So I have had issues with this. Oh god. Yeah, I just kind of ignored that. So let's see. Everything's online. What do I do? Turn off that. Close that. Hmm. Something smells fishy. Oh wait, what? Gotta understand which prison I'm in, in case I forget. Um, in the tribes, many creatures call the coast home. So the number of tribes has more than tripled. So what I mean by that, normally there are like 3 tribes you see here, There are 10. Oh, one more, I almost forgot. Where is it? Is it in here? Yeah, there we are. Here is your bingo. Alright, so let's see. A lot of these are in here as tribes. Why don't all of you take, make your. One moment, let's see. How do I phrase this? Why don't you guys try and guess which ones end up becoming races or tribes? Okay. So, the first one, you probably saw this, harpies. Alright, so this one, so let's see where, let's go back. This one is supposed to be harpy. They are asymmetrical because they're supposed to be facing this way and that, but also, yeah. Technically, the 4th time we've encountered harpies. They've been, but they're birds. What did you expect? So basically, what I mean by this is that harpies were an animal species in the mountains. They were a civilization. They were one of the demi-humans in the Egyptian civilization in the desert, and they were also a variant in the desert of said things. So this is the 4th time we encountered harpies, depending on if that's how you want to look at it. Harpies are normally hunters, foragers, and fishers, living in one large nest. They used to hunt crabs plentifully, but after Jinsey the great crab appeared, their way of life was altered. Now they are attacked by an army of crabs regularly, and vice versa. If a player finds their nest during one of these assaults and helps defend the nest, the harpies will be grateful and allow you into their nest. This can be used to gain the special class Harpy Guard. This gives jump boost, fall protection, slow fall, aerial strike, and spear proficiency. Basically, just you're hard to hit. You're jumping around like a, I don't know, what jumps. You're jumping around like a Mexican jumping bean from one of those old cartoons. Technically, it doesn't say you have to jump up or off the ground. in order to activate these abilities. And this fall protection is loose, slow fall. How would I make this to make it more interesting than just, yes, you can jump up high and also you have a spear. Let's see. You would be able to jump off buildings and things with jump boost. Fall protection would be feather falling, but from Minecraft. It does pretty much nothing, but it does protect you from fall damage. Once you take fall damage, it protects you from a certain amount of that fall damage. Slow fall, I feel, would be an active skill. Like, you activate it and you start descending slowly, as if gravity has less of an effect on you. It doesn't increase your momentum when you're going up. And then aerial strike, I feel as long as you are airborne, depending on how much momentum you have while being airborne, gives you extra damage. And then spear proficiency, which is self-explanatory. Unfortunately, this isn't the best class, but it gives access to Crab Assault and Nest Defense events, which give good rewards at low to mid levels. It is a class that you normally get out of. But this is the first time that I've actually offered like a class outside of the 4 main colonies and all of those things. 4 main things. Which is a very interesting thing. Now, I did make their arch enemies the crabs, and I gave them a much better class. Whereas this one is based off of a lot of evasiveness and striking hard, using their speed as power. The crabs actually have an evolved class that, can become better outright. So yeah, that's kind of just better. Plus, I gave them like much better abilities. But hey, Jinsey wouldn't be alive if the harpies could kill him. So it makes some sense. Sea bunnies and axolotls. All right, let's go to our bingo cards and mark these 2 off. Yeah. Also, if you're wondering what this is and thought this and that were connected, I can't really blame you. They have the same color scheme and are relatively close to each other. Which, you'll see things like these and these are technically connected. These are great crabs. These are technically similar species, but yeah, we'll get into all of that. So sea bunnies and axolotls are comprised as one thing, also known as the enslaved. So we're starting off real nice, as they were once the property of Thargul the Enslaver. He is cloaked in mystery, as no one knows what he is or what he looks like. The enslaved have a genetic slave mentality. Basically, all of their offspring serve someone. They will pretty much do anything you ask of them, and mentally require it. Meaning, no matter where you go, you'll see the enslaved working for someone. This surprisingly was helpful for them, as even the non-tribal races, aka animals, thought of them as tooth-cleaning helpers, which is an actual profession, again in quotes, for fish in the real world. As long as you can provide food and water basins, because they are aquatic creatures, they are a free form of weak labor. Some people keep them as pets, which is just kind of there. The enslaved are confident that one day Thargul the Enslaver will find a way to break free from the prison. This is a running theme no one expects the prison to hold, and he was wrongfully trapped in. That he was wrongfully trapped in. So we'll see this later, but basically, uh, most of the Leviathans were just kind of caught in the AoE of the skill and had very little to do with the skill or the raging seas that, required someone to go and sacrifice themselves to stop. Um, Surprisingly, they only have good things to say about him, but this can be attributed to their slave mentality. I have an idea of what Thargul is, but I also don't know if that is better or worse. Uh, their slave mentality runs so deep that a prolonged period of idleness can be harmful both physically and mentally. They eat When they sleep, they even bite each other to form chains and swim around a pole so they don't float away during sleep. Basically, they have unlimited zoomies. Oh gosh. No, they don't. Note, they don't suffer from fatigue. Their minds need rest and sleep, but their bodies seem to not wear out. Yeah, I thought that. One moment, I am. One moment. Alright, I have returned. Have you ever thought about how fruit is just plant eggs? Let's see. So where were we? Sea bunnies and axolotls. Yeah. They have unlimited sumis. They suffer from fatigue. Their mind needs rest and sleep, but their bodies seem not to wear out. Sirens. These ones. They are a common sea folk that once were treated as servants of mermaids due to their chance of gaining magic being less. But their physical strength was greater. As their numbers grew greater than the mermaids, a siren named, Awolku, started plotting to overthrow the mermaids. Later, he would be sealed in the hidden sea, and the sirens would go on to remember him as Awolku. Awolku the Rebel. One moment. Review, read aloud. A Wolcow. Alright, a Wolcow the Rebel. There is a few variants of siren, including Sea Witch / Hag, Sea Fury, and Octosassin. Sea Hags are much smaller than most sirens, giving them even... Oh, wait. Sorry. Oh, gosh. Well, here you can catch up on everything. You've already had a chance to pause the video and look at that. If you're... Ah, darn. Yeah, sorry about that. To, I don't know, the one person who may or may not be live. Nope, just checked. No one's live. Alright. Alright, so. Octosassins. Wait, no. Sea hags are much smaller than most sirens, giving them even more of a resemblance to mermaids. Wait, is that it? Is that really all I gave? They're the magical variant of sirens, when they rarely do gain magic. They basically are shrunk and basically are turned into mermaids, for lack of everything. Sea Furies are much larger than normal siren, and much stronger. Basically, they're the brutes. Octo Assassins make deals with octopi to gain their camouflage ability. They are very powerful ambush predators and can be one of the other two variants as well, since making a deal with an octopi isn't something you're born capable of doing. So what is this one? So theoretically, a Sea Fury or Sea Hag could also make deals with octopi and become an Octo Assassin, Sea Hag, or Sea Fury. Sirens can lay up to 15 eggs in one litter and need to feed fish blood to their eggs to properly grow. For them to properly grow. Even in a bad hunting season, at least half may hatch. Alright, are we back? Shrunk and basically are turned into mermaids for lack of everything. Sea Furies are much larger than normal siren and much stronger. Basically, they're the brutes. Make deals with octopi to gain their camouflage ability. They are very powerful ambush predators and can be one of other two variants as well, since making a deal with an octopi isn't something you're born capable of doing. So theoretically, a sea fury or sea hag could also make deals with octopi and become an octo assassin, sea hag or sea fury. They Sirens can lay up to 15 eggs in one litter and need to feed fish blood to their eggs to properly grow, for them to properly grow. Even in a bad hunting season, at least half may hatch. Okay, so that's where I left off, I think. Let's see. Go back over here. Okay, so basically, I ended exactly at sirens. That's good. Mermaids. A very rare, smaller variant of sirens. They used to be more common, but the sirens rebelled against Treepheus the Mer King, causing a great war that shook the sea, which inevitably led to them being trapped in the hidden sea. Now, mermaids are a very rare sight. They have a high chance of possessing great magic power when compared to other races, because even mermaids that are one of the magical attuned races, which probably should be a template or something, only have about a, let's say, 10% chance of being born with it. Very high compared to like a 1 to 2% chance for other races, but still not great. Now mermaids are a very rare sight. They have a high chance of possessing great magical power. Since they have to give live birth, their reproduction is slower than the sirens. I added this after the fact, if you see. And then Miremen. Now you're probably thinking, well, what's a Mireman? This guy. The fish dude. So go ahead and knock the guy who fishes off of the list. Swamp folk that live mostly on dry ground. They fish and hunt for their food. They live in huts made of thatch and straw. They live peaceful lives in their villages, mostly. And they and the lizard men eat very little, rationing at all times. Surprisingly, they ration most right after a harvest. And here are octopi. Octopi. You wouldn't normally think about it, but the life of an octopus is like a superhero origin story. Let me elaborate. The males die during mating, and the females starve protecting their eggs. So by the time the eggs hatch, they are already orphans. It goes further. They are super smart and have camouflage, are sometimes poisonous, can shoot ink, have jet propulsion, and can squeeze into any space. So if you enhance their abilities, imagine what they could do. That is why an octopus is a cephalopod superorganism. Okay, that one is kind of I will say that is kind of naive. Think Batman, but a fish. Okay, yeah, that's just a joke. Think Batman, but a fish. If they had longer lifespans, they could be some of the greatest animals on the planet. Okay, I kind of alluded to their weakness up till now, but let's go into that. Some of their weaknesses are their lack of armor, but they have super regeneration that lets them regrow limbs after a couple months. Alright, that seems like it should help. Even though if they do get caught out in the open, they probably will die and their super regeneration doesn't even matter at that point. They die if they eat something too large. because their brain is a ring with their throat running through it. That is actually accurate to real octopi. The males go into a vegetative state after mating, drifting off to be eaten or starve. The females will not leave their eggs, and even when food is provided, they refuse to eat it. One of the hundreds of hatchlings, if two survive to adulthood, it's good enough. But that's real octopi. We can fix these shortcomings, starting with their queen, Skeldrew the Kraken, the mother of the octopi. Skeldrew had her limitations removed by rewriting her DNA. Her children have gained her abilities. A lifespan much longer, a healing power more powerful, a brain smarter, and not a ring with your throat running through it, meaning that you die if you swallow something too large and your brain literally snaps like a rubber band, and a larger, more resilient body. It's basically Rubber Man. Just less, much less. It's a shame they can't speak, but they have ink on demand, so writing shouldn't be a problem. They learned to write before they had a spoken language. Technically, they do have a spoken language, kind of. I don't know what that would be though. So don't quote me on that. Okay, let's see. The only question remains.